Hi, this is Todd, and welcome to the Thrive Singles Podcast. Whether you're single again or still single, stop hating being single and learn to thrive. Welcome back to another episode of the Thrive Singles Podcast. Remember, you can find this and other podcasts, the Thrive Singles Shop, and the Thrive Singles blog at thrivesingles.com. This week, we're talking about how can I trust again after my heart's been broken? Can I ever trust again? That was one of my biggest post-divorce questions. After going through such a huge betrayal, is it possible to once again trust someone with the level of trust it takes to make a marriage thrive? And make no mistake, trust is necessary. I would argue that without trust, there can be no intimacy. I believe, and stated recently in another post, that intimacy is the most important thing in marriage. So if you want a happy marriage, you must have intimacy. And if you want intimacy, you must trust again. I don't see any way around this. To me, this is essential. And it's, of course, much easier said than done. It's important to realize that not everyone is worthy of your trust. Some people simply can't be trusted, period. The problem is, it's hard to tell the difference. It takes a little detective work and a lot of time to decide whether or not someone is trustworthy. You have to see people in numerous situations and see how they react to various circumstances before you can pass judgment accurately as to their trustworthiness. The ever-quotable Yogi Berra once said, "You can observe a lot just by watching." And the truth is, you can learn a lot about someone's trustworthiness if you simply observe them for a while. As time goes on, you may begin to notice seemingly small things that could turn out to be big issues. Here are a few. For instance, if they fudge facts occasionally, if they don't trust others, if they're habitually late, if they're secretive, if they get defensive for no apparent reason, if they lack self-control, or maybe you just have a gut feeling that you can't trust them. If any of these apply, be wary. They are probably not worthy of your trust. Most of the time, these little things are telltale signs of big problems. Relationships should not move to another level of intimacy until you reach a new level of trust. And trust is a two-way street. As you look for signs that they are trustworthy or not, be ready to prove yourself trustworthy too. And I don't mean this in some unhealthy, do something now to prove yourself to me or else kind of way. I just mean that you should both be able to hold up under the type of scrutiny that naturally stems from a healthy curiosity. An innocent question shouldn't elicit an angry or defensive reply. That's just a short list. It's not a comprehensive method for proving if someone's trustworthy or not, but it does give you a small sampling of the kind of things to look for. My point is, don't simply assume someone is trustworthy just because you find them attractive and they seem normal. Allow them opportunity to gain your trust over a significant period of time. I say over a significant period of time because, as I said earlier, it takes time to see people in lots of different situations and circumstances. What a person is on the inside might take a while to surface in front of you. It might take seeing them in a tough situation before you see their real character come out. So pay attention and give it lots of time. Now, on the other hand, the good news is not everyone's evil. There are still trustworthy people in this world. Not everyone is your ex. Not everyone is that friend who stabbed you in the back when you were most vulnerable. Every person is different. Judge each person according to his or her own actions. Don't lump all the fill-in-the-blank gender, race, type of person who let you down together. They are not all the same. Groups are made up of individuals. It's not some homogeneous mass. In fact, I thank God I didn't lump all women together, or even all driven, independent women, because as it turns out, The independent, driven, professional woman I married is one of the most trustworthy people I have ever known. Now, had I sworn to never trust a woman again or never trust a driven, independent woman again, I would have missed out on the best marriage I could ever imagine. If there are things that remind you of your ex, that may or may not be a bad sign. It depends. For instance, if your ex was blonde, please don't judge all blondes by her. If your ex was tall and thin, please don't judge all lanky men by him. And in general, you can't read that much into hair color, eye color, skin color, or other physical traits. You also shouldn't lump everyone of a particular race, ethnicity, or religion together. Just because your ex was Asian or Brazilian or a Mennonite doesn't mean that you should never trust an Asian or a Brazilian or a Mennonite again. Attitudes, however, that's a whole different matter. If you see the same unhealthy attitude or the same type of character flaws in someone that you saw in your ex, that's a huge red flag. If they treat people badly in the same way your ex treated people badly, that's danger. Big danger sign. All that being said, my point still stands, though. Not everyone is your ex. All the good ones are not taken. I promise. There are still a lot of good prospective mates out there. Just learn to be discerning when deciding who to trust. And let me reiterate this one more time. Building trust takes a lot of time. You shouldn't trust someone until they've proven themselves over a very long period of time. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes I see singles make, and I covered this in a blog post before, one of the biggest mistakes I see singles make, especially after a breakup or a divorce, is moving into a dating relationship too quickly. Give people time to earn your trust. And why rush? If it turns out you can't trust them, then you're going to be really glad you took your time. If they do turn out to be trustworthy, you have the rest of your lives to enjoy each other's company. So either way, why rush? So to sum it up, trust is necessary for intimacy, and intimacy is necessary for a great marriage. So if you want a great marriage, you'll need to learn to trust again. Not everyone is worthy of your trust. Look for the signs. Not everyone is your ex. There are still good, trustworthy ones out there. And building trust takes time. Don't get in a rush. So what signs do you look for when deciding if someone's trustworthy? And if you've been hurt, have you learned to trust again? Let's talk about it in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. See you next week. Till then, be sure to subscribe and go check out my extensive archive of past posts at thrivesingles.com. And thrive on.
Oh, thrive. Yeah, come alive. There's more to life. You gotta grow. You gotta thrive. Whoa, whoa, you gotta thrive. There's more to life than to just survive.